Good afternoon. The Rio Rancho Board of Education meeting for Monday, May 3rd, 2021 is now called to order. All please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please have your microphone muted. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Kim, can you take a roll call for us?
Yes, ma'am. President Galbraith.
Present.
Vice President Morgan.
Present.
Secretary Scott. I don't see her. Okay. Member Cullen.
Present.
And Board Member Coleman.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum at 4-0.
Thank you. Okay, we'd like to welcome everyone out to our special board meeting today, especially those who are joining us through our YouTube, and all those who are joining us through the recording, watching this later. We also like to welcome all of our district staff and thank them for being on with us today. And to get us started, we will approve the prioritized agenda and proposed time allocations. Any changes that need to take place on the prioritized agenda as presented?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
This is Board Member Coleman. I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Catherine Cullen and a second by Wynn Coleman. Kim, can you take a roll call vote for us?
Yes, I can. Vice President Morgan.
Yes.
Secretary Scott's absent. Board Member Cullen.
Yes.
Board Member Coleman.
Yes.
President Galbraith.
Yes.
4-0.
Thank you. Okay, we're now moving into business. We will start with to consider the approval of the 4/23/2021 unapproved special board meeting minutes. Any changes that need to take place on those minutes that anyone saw? Okay, I make a motion to approve the special board meeting minutes for 4/23/2021.
This is Board Member Coleman. I second.
Okay, a motion by me and a second by Board Member Coleman. Kim, can you take a roll call vote for us?
Yes, I can. Vice President Morgan.
Yes.
Member Cullen.
Yes.
Member Coleman.
Yes.
And President Galbraith.
Yes.
Thank you. That's 4-0.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay. Next, consider the approval of the 4/26/2021 unapproved board meeting minutes. Any changes that need to take place on those?
This is Board Member Coleman. I'm wondering, looking at the minutes, it has Noreen Scott as absent, but she was in attendance.
She was in attendance. Did we take note of when she got on?
Yeah, we did, and I think I noted that somewhere in there.
It says that Secretary Noreen Scott joined the meeting at 5:49 p.m. Present 5. So I'm not exactly sure if it's okay like this or not. I just format is just a little bit different. Does she need to be counted as absent and then noted below when she arrived?
I think what you'll see is in some of the items early in the meeting, it shows up as 4-0 and absent 1 in the vote. And then when you get down to the business items, you see that there's 5 members present.
Okay.
So if that covers it, that's fine. And if not, we can try something else.
Okay. I don't have, I
think it's okay as long as it's noted. Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Cleveland, sorry.
Historically, we have counted board members present if they come in within a reasonable period of time. But I do see the point that Kim is making. You have an explanation for why the vote would not look correct. And so, but I know many board members over the years have come in late from a variety of different things, and we have always counted them present. So that's just the history certainly up to the board to decide how you want to handle that kind of lateness.
I mean, I'm okay with how it is. It does address it just below that. It just has her as far as that roll call being absent, but it does note below it that she came at 5:49 and that there was 5 present. So I'm okay with that.
Okay. Okay. Is there a motion?
This is Board Member Catherine Cullen. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
It's Board Member Jeff Morgan, I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Catherine Cullen and a second by Jeffrey Morgan. Kim, can you take a roll call vote for us?
Yes, I can. Vice President Morgan,
Yes.
Member Cullen,
Yes.
Member Coleman,
Yes.
President Galbraith.
Yes.
Okay, that's 4-0.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, for our next item of business is consider the approval of the recommendation for RFP number 2021-013-FAC, Colinas del Norte Elementary School HVAC replacement. And Michael Madrid, our purchasing director, and Melanie Archback, our executive director of facilities, will be presenting.
Thank you, Board President Galbraith, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Cleveland. I'll be presenting 3 very similar RFP procurements as far as the format this afternoon. The evaluation criteria for all 3 RFP solicitations is the same. The criteria includes past performance, project staffing, management plan, health and safety, New Mexico produced work, and price. For the Colinas del Norte Elementary School HVAC replacement, the scope of work consisted of demolition of select ceilings, floor finishes, lighting, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical systems, installation of new lighting, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical systems, installation of new floor and ceiling finishes, demolition and reconfiguration of rooftop mechanical systems, repair of select roofing system areas. For this particular solicitation, the district received 1 response. Even though Weiser Electric LLC was the sole response, the evaluation committee did review the information provided in their proposal and scored the response based on the evaluation criteria. It is the recommendation of the evaluation committee to solicit award of this RFP to Weiser Electric.
Board, do you have any questions on this?
No, it's just like the other ones. Yeah.
This is Board Member Coleman. I do have a question. Mr. Madrid, now would you one more time just explain the decision to go ahead, since there was only 1 responder, to go ahead and have them do it?
Yes, Board Member Coleman. Per the statute, even though you did get 1 response, you still have to evaluate. You have to ensure that they met the requirements, that they have the ability to perform the scope of services, and you have to do the criteria of evaluating. If it's determined through the evaluation that for some reason the committee doesn't feel that they can perform the services, then a decision would be made to cancel the procurement and resolicit the procurement. But based on the information and based on the evaluation committee's recommendation, we feel that Weiser Electric can perform the services and it should be recommended for award.
And really quick, sorry, when Kim, can you let Noreen Scott in? She's been trying to get into the meeting. Go ahead, you can go ahead and ask your question.
I'm just wondering with just the one, how with some of the other RFPs that have been put out for things like this, how comparable was what Weiser turned? I'm trying to remember where they kind of fell in line with the other RFPs that we've approved. And I know that, of course, we don't look at price, but I mean, how is it that I guess I'm just trying to see how they ranked or compared based on the other RFPs, since there's only 1.
Very good question, Member Coleman. Each solicitation is a little unique, so you got to really evaluate based on the merits of that scope. And so you kind of look at it. You can compare between RFPs and get an idea of their past performance and what they've done for the district. But each one is very specific to that particular project. So it would be slightly unfair to compare them on other projects. I can tell you that on their past performance and products that they perform for the district, they've done a lot of work for the district, and the district is comfortable with their performance. They're currently one of our on-calls for general contracting. They're also an on-call for electrical services. They performed a large number of maintenance and new construction on the on-call level. And I think they also did some of the initial HVAC renovations on some of the other projects when I first started. This was about 2 or 3 years ago. And they performed at least the first round of those HVAC improvements.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I see Dr. Cleveland's on. Dr. Cleveland, did you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to support what Mr. Madrid said. You can't penalize a company if they responded in good faith and met all the requirements that others did not bid as well. I kind of wonder, does Mike Baker or Melanie Archback, who are on as well, was there anything unusual about this particular school that maybe didn't make it as attractive for people to bid? Because I'm kind of surprised there was only one. Given the others, there were several. And then my other question is, did they not receive one of the other bids?
Superintendent Cleveland, they did receive one of the other bids. Yes, they were one of the awardees on a previous solicitation. I believe it was for Mountain View.
That's what I recall. And that one was competitive, was it not?
It was, yes, ma'am. We had 7 responses to that one, and they were the highest ranked on that solicitation.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Madam President Galbraith, members of the board, and Dr. Cleveland. This is Melanie Archback, Executive Director of Facilities. To answer your question, Dr. Cleveland, I think the schedule's aggressive. A lot of our smaller projects we're trying to get done within the summer, but there was nothing unique beyond that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Melanie. We're getting on. When, do you have another question or comment?
Yes, a comment. And so it's not that I in any way would want to penalize Weiser on this. It's just that I do know as a board that we do have the option to go ahead and if we wanted to just see, and I'm not saying that we should do this, but we could go ahead and suggest that it go back out. So I was just curious with only one, knowing how competitive it's been, and just kind of have that discussion about trying to figure out, what was evaluated, how that kind of ranked as compared to kind of what we're looking at with the other schools.
Yeah, and thanks for that. And it is interesting that we only have one. Any other questions from from the rest of our board?
I don't know if Lauren is on, but I would like to ask him because I just like to know for myself. My understanding is that someone bids, that they bid in good faith and they meet all the requirements. You can just throw that out and go back out.
This is board member Noreen Scott, and I apologize for getting on late. I wonder if you could give me a very brief explanation of where we're at on this.
I guess Lauren is not on, so.
Yeah, Noreen, we're just going through and looking at the first RFP that's on here for Cleanisville North Bay. Board member Coleman, she was kind of asking just how they went through the process, as we only had one vendor who put in, to do the work, and was kind of just asking about, the process of doing that, if that would be something that would go back out or something like that. Michael, do you want to add anything to, or Mike Baker, he's on too?
Yes, board member Galbraith. What I would like to add is that if I'm not mistaken, I know I've been tracking a number of these bids that they've been coming in, and it's my understanding that they are well within budget. And I can ask Melanie to chime in. It is important, the time period is important for us. because we want to get a lot of this work done during the summer months. And so this type of work will be very, very disruptive to all the school sites, including Colinas. So yes, we could delay the project, but that would really hamper our timeline in getting these jobs done. Again, it is my understanding that we're well within the budget. Weiser Electric has been a company that we've used for many, many years. We know their work. They've been awarded a lot of work for Rio Rancho Public Schools, and typically they do bid low. And they're one of the lowest bidders in comparison to many of the other contractors in the area. And so I asked the school board to approve this because I believe, again, it's within budget. It's a reasonable solicitation. It's a reasonable response, and we don't want to hamper our time period. But if the board does not feel comfortable, then we will go ahead and delay the project and go out to bid again.
This is a board member, Noreen Scott. If we're happy with their work, why would we go out?
I think it's more just an understanding from board member Coleman, just to kind of understand the process.
And if I may speak, this is board member Coleman. I believe that it is within our responsibility to just kind of question and just have, I'm just sensing that people are a little concerned that I asked that question. All I'm wanting is just a little bit more information, a little bit more history. Those things have been answered, but I believe that to do our due diligence as a board member, that it's definitely something to ask about, to clarify when we only have one business that has submitted for an RFP. So
and to add to that, I understand, and hopefully it is very, very strange that we had multiple respondents, and on this one really only one. So it is rather odd and curious for sure, and hopefully we answered all of those questions.
Go ahead, Catherine.
If there's no other questions, I'd like to make a motion, but is there anybody else? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the RFP number 2021-013-FAC for Colinas del Norte to be awarded to Weiser.
I'll second that. This is board member Noreen Scott.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion by Catherine Cullen and a second by Noreen Scott. And Kim, can you take a roll call vote for us?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Catherine, you made that motion, right?
She did.
And
Noreen Scott seconded it.
Noreen seconded it. Okay, thank you. Just there's a couple other things going on too. Okay, here we go. Vice President Morgan.
Yes.
Secretary Scott.
Yes.
Board member Cullen.
Yes, I'm not sure if it went through.
Board member Coleman.
yes.
President Galbraith.
Yes.
And that's 5-0.
5-0. Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, for our next item, make sure I'm looking at my notes right. Item D, consider approval of recommendation for RFP number 2021-014-FAC Rio Rancho Elementary School HVAC replacement. And Michael Madrid, once again, will present.
Board President Galbraith, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Cleveland, as mentioned, the criteria for evaluation is the same as the previous one that we just discussed. The scope of work is different. The scope of work for this project consists of demolition of exterior or existing interior walls and selective exterior walls, doors, storefronts, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical systems, expansion of building footprint in selected areas under the existing structure overhang, along with the associated concrete slab and footings and new exterior finish systems, new load-bearing structural steel beams and columns, new interior framed partitions in selected areas, demolition of existing roofing system and knee replacement roofing system, exterior dorm frames, millwork, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and special systems, new floor, walls, and ceiling finishes. The district received 2 responses to this solicitation. The first company is Bricon Corporation. They actually have an office in Albuquerque, and I think they have a presence here in Rio Rancho as well. And we have a company by the name of ESA Construction out of Albuquerque. ESA happens to be the highest ranked offer as they were evaluated, but they also happen to be the lowest price, which is just one of the criteria. It's not the sole criteria for evaluation or for approval. Recommendation this afternoon is for the highest ranked offer, ESA Construction Incorporated.
Has ESA done other work for us, Mike?
They have. ESA is actually one of our on-calls. They performed some work for us in the past. They've done some work, I think, at the restrooms and things like that over at the field house at, I believe it's Rio Rancho. They probably, I don't have the exact dollar amount, but they probably performed about $1 million worth of on-call services for the district.
And how about Bricon Construction?
Bricon, very successful contractor. They performed the work at Shining Stars. Melanie might be able to shed light on more of the history that Bricon's performed for the district.
Good evening, this is Melanie Archback, Executive Director of Facilities. So since I've been here, Bricon did Shining Stars Preschool. ESA, you're correct in that they did the Rio Rancho High School track project, as well as Eagle Ridge Middle School's gym floor. That was a bond project we completed last summer, and I believe they did some work at Cleveland High School. I'm trying to remember what that was, so I apologize for that, but they've been very successful. We've been pleased with their work.
What's the differentiation in score between the two?
It's close. So I'm just going to kind of go by the ranking. Number 1 had ESA at 105. So if you just look at the difference in the score for the pricing, you're giving up roughly 2.5 points just on the pricing. So if you look at the technical quals added to that pricing, you have about a 6.5 point difference for one member. You have about a 0.5 point difference on another member, 3.5 points on another member, 4.5 points on another member, and then you had about 6.5 points on another member. So very competitive. Both contractors have done a lot of education type projects successfully, not only for the district, but for other school districts.
Secretary Scott, anything else? No, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the board? Any other questions that you have? I'll entertain a motion if someone would like to give a motion.
This is Board Member Catherine Cullen. I move to approve the RFP number 2021-014-FAC Rio Rancho Enchanted Hills HVAC replacement awarded to ESA Construction.
This is Board Member Coleman. I'll second that.
And that's elementary school, right? Not Enchanted Hills. Is that correct?
That's right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I say Rio Rancho Elementary School? I don't know where I was coming up with that. That was
Okay, we have a motion by Catherine Cullen and we have a second by Wynn Coleman. And Kim, can you take a roll call vote for us on this?
Yes, I can. Vice President Morgan.
Yes.
Secretary Scott.
Yes.
Board Member Cullen.
yes.
Board Member Coleman.
Yes.
President Galbraith.
Yes.
That is 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. I just wanted everyone to keep in mind we have about 5 more minutes before we need to be in finance as we go through these next couple. And so item E, consider approval for the recommendation of RFP number 2021-015-FAC Martin Luther King Elementary School HVAC replacement. And Michael Madrid.
Just to save some time, I'll kind of let you guys read some of the information that's already on the form. Same criteria that we used for the other two that we just discussed. You can see the scope of work as referenced. For this particular procurement, we received 5 responses: Bricon Corporation, ESA Construction, Gonzalez Mechanical, JB Henderson, and TA Cole & Sons. TA Cole & Sons is the highest ranked offer. Pricing was very competitive with the lowest priced proposal. Recommendation is based on the evaluation criteria for the highest ranked offer, TA Cole & Sons.
I'm just writing it. So it was TA Cole & Sons, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, questions from the board. Please don't feel like you can't ask questions if you need to. Is there any questions, Noreen Scott?
Yes, just a couple quick ones. Have they done work for us before, and have we been satisfied with it?
I believe they did the gymnasium at one of our schools. They probably performed at least a couple projects for the district. I know that they performed a lot of projects when I was at APS. They have a lot of experience with K-12 education type environments, occupied campuses, and things like that.
Thank you. I appreciate your answer. Thanks.
Yep. You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board, Wynn?
No, I was just going to, this is Board Member Coleman, and I move to approve award RFP number 2021-015-FAC, Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School HVAC replacement be awarded to TA Cole & Sons General Contractor.
This is Board
Just
Member
Board Member
Catherine
Jeff.
Cullen. Second. I'm sorry.
It's a race. All right, we have a motion by Wynn Coleman and a second by Catherine Cullen. Kim, can you take a roll call vote for us?
Yes, ma'am. Vice President Morgan,
Yes.
Secretary Scott,
Yes.
Board Member Cullen,
Yes.
Board Member Coleman,
Yes.
President Galbraith.
Yes.
That is 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. All right, for our last item, item F, consider approval of audit committee recommendation regarding procurement of external auditing services. Michael Madrid, our purchasing director, will present.
Board President, Galbraith, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Cleveland. The audit committee met on April the 29th and discussed various options on the upcoming audit contract. The committee recommends extending services through the current audit firm, Accounting and Financial Solutions for 1 year. This will be the last year that contract can be extended. After this extension, the district would have to solicit a new RFP for audit services.
This is Secretary Noreen Scott. I move approval of the audit committee recommendation to continue with the audit firm we're currently working with.
This is Board Member Catherine Cullen. Second.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion by Noreen Scott and a second by Catherine Cullen. And then Kim, if you could take a roll call vote for us.
Yes, I can. Board Member Jeffrey Morgan,
Yes.
Secretary Scott,
Yes.
Board Member Cullen,
Yes.
Board Member Coleman,
Yes.
President Galbraith,
Yes.
and that is 5-0.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, for our advanced planning, please refer to our calendar on our website. Just right now, we have our Finance Committee meeting, which will be in 2 minutes. So if everyone could please exit this meeting, go over to the Finance Committee meeting, that would be great. We also have one on May 10th. We have a Finance Committee and next regular board meeting. And this meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.